Hello Guppy lovers, welcome back to my channel again, and today's video is the part 2, okay, of the aquarium raid. But this time is we're gonna do a fish tub raid. Okay, so before we start, please make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified for my upcoming videos. And let's start! Okay, so we're here outside. This is a Tanner's collection. So in here you have Guppy, Molly, Platy,
and then one dojo.
One dojo. Okay. So if you guys are wondering why this is covered, I'm wondering too. Let's ask Tanner. So why this is covered?
So this is covered because the temperature fluctuates so much. So during
it helps.
Yeah, so it helps keep the temperature like at a constant temperature, because at night it gets in the 40s, and then obviously 40 degrees is going to kill the tropical fish, so I cover it to keep all the heat in the tanks.
Okay, so what temperature do you normally
so
keep them into?
Both of these tubs are around 83 degrees, so each tank is 83.
That's good.
Yeah,
it's pretty hot.
Yeah,
but by doing this, do you think, do you have any issues with it, like by covering this?
No, so it actually helps a lot. So during the day, whenever it's warm out, I will uncover it and let them have some sunlight, and then at night I will go and cover it just to keep so it doesn't get cold. Because there's times whenever I've actually left it uncovered and then I fill the water and it drop, like the temperature drops significantly.
Yeah. Okay, let's open it. Wow, it's like a present. Unboxing. We're gonna do unboxing. Wow. Wait, let's put it here. Wow. Oh, and then let's open the other one. Yeah, the lights. Wow, you have the German Guppy. Yeah, German Guppy is really healthy. Oh wow.
Yeah, she's been doing really good. I'm actually gonna feed
What
them.
type of floating plants are these?
These are called, they were actually a mistake because they came with another plant that was just in the bag, and then they spread everywhere. So I didn't really pay for them. They kind of just came with the other plants that I got.
Really?
Yeah. So it helps though because it helps keep them covered too, and I think that also helps with keeping the temperature too, because then it keeps it's pretty much like an insulation.
What other plants do you guys?
And then I have there's some guppy grass in here, and then this one has the same floating plants, and then some Java moss, and then that one has Java moss as well.
Can you tell us why you have two tubs?
So I have two different tubs.
Because they pretty much have the same fish, like Molly, Guppy, Platy.
This is the adult tub, so this is where all the adults are.
This is all the parents.
Yes, and then when they give birth,
they're breeder.
Yeah, so when they get birth, I transfer them over here. So then.
Oh, okay. So all the fish here
all
are
of
babies.
These are babies.
Wow.
So these all came from.
But some of these are big now, so.
Yeah, some of these are full grown.
And they're not eating the small ones.
And then they leave the small ones alone. I think it's because they were so used to being around babies. They're because I constantly added babies in here.
Yes.
So there was constantly babies being added in here, so they were used to being around the babies already.
Yeah.
And then now they're fine with me just adding the babies that are born in this tub, and then
especially
I just move them over
the
here.
white ones. These are balloon mollies.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And those are my original balloon mollies.
They even look like adult.
Yeah.
It's like they're ready to mate.
Because I actually took one of the balloon mollies out of here and put it into the guppy tank inside, and then it gave birth twice already inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and then I actually took all of her babies inside and then put them here. So all the balloon mollies that were inside, I took her babies and put them in here.
And how often do you clean this tub?
So these tubs, I don't clean as often. It's maybe every 2.5 to 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Especially
even the sponge filter?
Yeah, even the sponge. So the sponge filter I will clean maybe once a month. So once a month or once every month and a half. And then that's pretty much all I have to do for these.
So during summer, do you have any issues with algae?
Not so much because I'll keep it halfway covered. So I'll have it halfway, and then the main thing during the summer is that it just gets so hot here.
Yeah.
Because it will get like up to 100 degrees, and then actually last summer I had a mass die off of all my guppies. So every guppy in the tank died.
Because
the temperature
because of the
raised too high.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember
It
that
overheated.
time. Yeah, I remember.
So then every guppy died, but then all the mollies and platies that were in here, they all survived. But every guppy died.
Every guppy died.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the guppies they're a little less hardy than the mollies and the platies.
Yeah, well, especially the fancy ones.
Yeah, especially fancy guppies.
The high quality ones, and plus their genes are also weak.
Yeah, because they're inbred. So,
yeah.
Because that's how they get certain strains of guppy. They inbreed the same ones multiple times to get the same fish that comes out.
Okay. So in here, let's go to the breeder. So tell us about here.
So then in here there is balloon molly, there's lyretel, yellow molly, and then there is a few guppies in here, some fancy guppies, and then there's one dojo, and then there's I'm pretty sure that's it. Yeah, just guppy, balloon molly, and then lyretel molly, and then that's what's been giving me on the dojo. And then the one dojo.
Did you have any issues before? They putting them together, you know, like maybe the molly will fight the goldfish, or I mean, not the goldfish. Maybe the molly will harm the guppies.
So at first I was like worried about it, but then I thought about it. I was like, they're all like community fish, and I've seen them in other tubs like live together and be fine. And then what I did is I actually put them in, and then I watched them to make sure like no one was like aggressive towards anyone.
Yeah.
And then everything has been super fine. Like everyone is getting along, and they all share, they all eat. And then the main thing I was worried about was getting a dojo, because like dojos are, I don't know, they're just it's a lot bigger than them.
Yeah, and it's hyper.
And then it's super hyper. But all he does is just eat all the food.
Oh, and you have babies in
Yeah, and then so those were babies that I found. So I recently moved these tubs. I moved them last week. I moved the tubs from one side of the fence to the other, and then I found like tons of babies. So there was like 50 or 60 babies. Yeah, so there's like 50 or 60 babies that I found, and then I'm just waiting to transfer them. Especially because I did a mass water change, so I'm just letting them settle, and then I can transfer them into the baby tank.
Yes. So, how about your heater? Did you have any issues with your heater, like being outside, or did your heater burn the tubs?
No, so it hasn't caused any issues. I mean, I feel like the heaters maybe like they work a little harder than if it was inside because it's a lot warmer. But then I haven't had any problem. Like the water temperatures have stayed like constant, and then I'll check them just to make sure. Just because I mean, heaters are usually the first thing to go inside, like in any like fish keeping. So like even if it was an indoor heater, heaters don't last very long. But so far they're doing fine, and they're keeping the temperature of the water at what it needs to be. So and it hasn't caused any issues.
So, speaking of issues, did you have any major problems when you start doing the fish tubs?
So when I first started the fish tubs, I only had the white one, and there was just adults, and then I had the breeder boxes, and I just put all their babies in there. And then I decided to get this black tub to keep all the babies in because I had too many babies, and I didn't know what to do with them.
Yeah.
So then I set this up and then put the babies in here, and then it was almost right after I set up this tub and started putting the babies in here. Something happened in that tub where just every day I had at least like 1 or 2 fish die, and then I had like a mass die off. So everything died in the tub besides one of them. So only one fish survived, and then it survived for maybe, and then I restarted this whole tank.
Yeah.
So I restarted it.
What do you think was the cost? Like,
I don't know. I think
Like, did you buy?
I think there was a
from
contaminated fish. One of the fish was sick, and then it got all of my fish sick.
from another store.
From a different store.
Yeah, from a different store.
And then I think that's what caused it. Just gave all of them the same sickness, and then everything just
yeah, that's the
died.
hardest part too. Sometimes, guys, like I know there are fishes out there that that they look pretty, they look good, and then you may not notice the environment or the tank that it might be in one filtration, and then the other tank has problem, or maybe there's a sick fish in there, and then you buy that fish and you take it home, and then you introduce it to your fish, and not quarantine it 1st, and I mean,
And
next thing you know, and then that fish carries like a disease, and it start affecting basically your entire tank. I remember you had a lot of fancy guppies that time.
I had like almost $200 worth of fancy guppies, and they all died. So,
Yeah.
but it was, and then I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, I have their babies, and then that mass die-off of their babies happened whenever it overheated,
Yeah.
and then all the babies died.
But at least look at now, like
Yeah.
your fish is they're all better, and you're getting a lot of fishes.
Yeah, and it helps. It's definitely a learning experience.
Yeah.
So like now I know, like, if I get a fish, I need to make sure like everything's fine with it, and then
you quarantine.
And keep everything, like, have like a system so that anytime you get a new fish, you quarantine it, keep it separated for at least a week, just to make sure it doesn't have anything wrong, and then just try not to cross-contaminate different tanks.
In your estimate, how many fish do you have now?
Oh gosh,
A lot, huh?
I don't even know how many babies are in here, because there's
Like
there's a giant thing of moss on this side.
Like
and
1,000?
The moss is like this big, and I know there's a ton of babies in there. And then, for a rough estimate, I would say like
1,000.
probably 1,000 fish.
Yeah. You have
Especially
a lot of
because
babies,
there's a
guys.
ton of babies in here,
Yeah.
and some of them are this big, some of them are this big, so it's
Yeah.
hard to tell. Like, I haven't sat here and just counted everyone.
I know.
And then plus I have these new babies that
And
are
plus
over
your
there
fish
too.
are really, really good because they're not eating the small fishes.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's all.
It's like
that
you
also
train them
helps.
that way.
I feel like just leaving the babies in there, eventually they just get used to having the babies in
Yeah.
there, and then they're like, oh, I don't want that anymore.
Yeah. Or remember that guppy that I showed you guys?
Which
like,
one?
One of my fish tub that I keep trying to put babies.
Oh, and it
wi-
chased them every time.
And they chase them every time. They want to kill it, even though they're big.
Even though they're like halfway grown.
Yeah, they already have collars. And then I don't know why they keep chasing them. I'm like, oh my god, these fishes are so mean.
They were chasing everything.
Yeah. And I thought they were fine with it because they're already, like almost adult. Okay. So before we end this video, do you have any advice or recommendation?
Mainly just, if you do get new fish, just quarantine them, just to make sure that they don't spread diseases to your fish that you have now. And then also just be sure to like make sure all your fish are not aggressive towards each other, and that they are like all fine being around each other, and if you are trying to breed, I would definitely recommend like getting 2 different tubs, so have like the adults in one, and then the
And then
babies,
what's for the babies?
the other ones have another one for the babies, just because the babies will start to overpopulate.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have a tub for the parents and the babies, so that the babies can have like room to grow, and then eventually, like, once they grow, you could even start selling them. So that helps a lot.
That's true. Thank you guys for watching. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please, if you guys have any additional comments or any concern, comment down below. Okay, and follow Tanner and also his boyfriend Aquatropics on Instagram. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And don't forget, be kind and love your fishes. And I'll see you guys on my next vlog.
Bye.
Bye.